I want to get your first thoughts on the former Prince Andrew. This photo here that's just gone around the world now. I mean, it says it all, doesn't it?
It just looks like his mind just got blanked. It looks like they just
The
brought
men
him
in
in.
black.
Yep, and just took his mind away.
What did you think of it when he was arrested? I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly.
Is it not even? They're not even arresting him for the actual Epstein files, though. Some other.
He's been arrested for leaking confidential information. So realistically, when you tie it in with the Epstein files, it makes you wonder, why hasn't he been questioned over the photos of him over underage girls? But he's been questioned over documents and knowledge, which to me shows that there is a big issue on the world stage, that they're not taking these things as serious as they probably should be.
Well, he was trade envoy, right? And apparently the Queen didn't. The Queen wanted him to do it.
Yeah.
The King at the time, who was a prince, did not want him to do it because he knew it was a loose unit. He was trade envoy from 2001 until 2011. He had meetings everywhere, flying thick and fast. And now the allegation is, and carries a sentence of life in prison, that he may have traded secrets and been the beneficiary of it. Where does that put this royal family?
Completely compromised.
Jeopardy, yeah, massive jeopardy. Massive jeopardy.
But you boys have been saying for a while that it's been coming.
Well, I mean, you look at the Epstein files from a personal perspective of who's potentially controlling the world on a larger scale, and it just makes you, I don't know, people like Alex Jones, they've probably been right for a long time.
Which is pretty wild to say, but I mean, we, or people, I'll say, not we, were talking about these sort of things going on 10 years ago plus. And the files drop and it solidifies what everyone wishes not to be true. But then to the people that are coming to the party now, they're like, oh, can we believe this? And it's like, well, yeah, you can. The DOJ has released it. Like, it's legitimate information now.
But they've not only released it, they've redacted a whole bunch of names and only released half the files. I mean, my biggest question is the one that has been keeping me awake at night for not only a lot of the stuff they're doing to children, but like there's no files there from 1999 to 2001. What happened in 2001?
9/11.
Changed the course of my life, I know that. I went and fought over in Afghanistan for what? Why is there a whole bunch of files which they won't release from 1990 to 2001? I want to know that, I and a whole bunch of military people as well, and there's a whole bunch of people that don't want this information to be released. But did my cousin die overseas? And did my 3 mates die overseas for something that was a cover-up job?
And explain that a bit more.
So we all know there's like the Building 7 that just didn't fall down by itself. Yeah, okay, look, the planes definitely might have went into Tower 1 and 2 and the other planes went from there. But if there are files there and they are not allowing anything to come out from 1990 to 2001, doesn't that make you ask questions?
Poses the question, why?
And then, like, what was the back end of that? We went to Afghanistan, fought in a war for 20 years, and then also off the back of that, we invaded Iraq. Halliburton gave out a whole bunch of no-bid oil contracts to places in Iraq, and Dick Cheney used to work for them.
2001 was when he took over the trade envoy position, right? Now, 16 years ago, he was taken off of it. But how much did the royal family know? What sort of secrets have been traded? To who? I mean, he's met with everyone around the world. Yeah. And if there's a flow...
The top of the top.
If there's a flow of any kind, Epstein is just the indicator. But if there's an actual flow of money and secrets, then this could bust a whole lot more open.
Let's throw a curveball in. Let's say Epstein was a intelligence agents from wherever we want to say. There are many roads leading to different countries. I'm not going to open up that can of worms for debate. If Epstein was that man, imagine what these people know about the whole world. And it's enough to mold the world and the future of the world. And that's what people aren't really looking at. They're like, oh, these files have come out and X, Y, Z, but they're not looking at the big picture of what's actually happening, thanks to that loose unit.
I think Pam Bondi came out and said that if they release all the files unredacted and all of them, the whole system comes crashing down. Whose system? Their system? Not my system. My world won't come crashing down. It'll be the elite system that'll come crashing down. whole bunch of billionaires who get thrown in prison. So it's not their system. Sorry, it's their system,
Not
not
ours.
my system. And care about their system
Call
that's
us
been
si-
running off some satanic pedophile ring.
Call us cynical, but I'm more than happy to see their system collapse.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't know how much time you've spent going over files if you've read any of it, but like there are some very dark, evil things that you wouldn't want anyone to read. And the fact that they're the most elite in the world doing this, the system should crash.
A little background for those who may be listening and not know a lot. They would have heard the name, but maybe a bit about it. Epstein pleaded guilty in 2008 to soliciting prostitution, including a minor. Arrested again in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges. Died in custody on 2019. It was ruled suicide.
In one of the hardest places to commit suicide.
And also, there's 2 minutes of the footage missing. Come on.
And there's a lot behind that one.
Keep going.
Are we really sitting here believing this?
Look, it's hard to back up with receipts, but there are stories of a man that came out that was working at the prison, saw a van come in 5 minutes before Epstein's death time or whatever. They pulled an inmate out that looked similar. Someone else went into the van. Like, they did a swap. Now, can I sit here and say, well, look, here are all the receipts? Of course not.
Yeah.
But when you think about who he was involved with and what he knew and how this world works, you probably wouldn't want him dead, would you? So, pens the question.
Okay, so Hillary and Bill Clinton are scheduled to testify next week, and we'll get onto that in just a second. There has been 70 plus computers seized. The FBI has taken them. Hard drives, CDs, financial documents from properties. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, it's a mass release of these files. 3 million pages released in 2026. 180,000 images, 2,000 videos, including victim interviews, flight logs, phone records, financial records, emails. The patterns of the files are that he recruited girls as young as 14 to 18. This guy was a sicko.
I think it was younger. From some of the
Some
video
of the
footage
photos,
and that.
yeah.
It looks that way, doesn't it? Allegations of blackmail operation. You mentioned who he might be working for. This week I spoke to a former Pentagon operative who was categoric in that he was a CIA bagman and was working for multiple intelligence organizations around the world. This is what the operative was saying. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that he was collecting information on a lot of people. A lot of serious people, including this guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you can also, it's great to look back on Epstein and what he did, but we need to look back on Ghislaine Maxwell as well. Here's number two. Her father was a known Mossad asset, and they buried him in Israel with full military honours. So it's like, was it CIA, Mossad, MI6? And then I hear, some of the mainstream media come out the last couple of weeks and try and blame it on the KGB in Russia. Well, firstly, the KGB ended in 1991, so those dorks need to shut up. Secondly, do you think that if Russia or Putin had any bit of compromising material on the West, they wouldn't have used it during the Ukraine war? Come on, guys.
Not only that, sorry to cut in, Sam, not only that, if it was Russia, why would we consider them a great enemy when they knew so much about us? We should really be looking at who's considered an ally to the West and think that's probably who he was working for because we're forced to be allied.